Oh, you were asking me if I was being sincere, like serious, like truthful to myself when I was talking about love, if I really felt or thought that about my husband. We were talking about Valentine's Day, February the 14th, 5, 10, 15, 20 years old. I'm gonna be 35 years old in about a year and a few months, and we celebrate Valentine's Day and do an exchange of Valentine cards or candy bags for Valentine's Day every February the 14th since I was um 5 years old. I wasn't born in February, and so traditionally, not because of the way I look or my experience that I've lived, but because of who I am and the way I was brought up since I was born. Normally, I celebrate day 9 of Christmas, December time, the last month of the 12 months that there is. So I was born in December 9, and my parents, they have a totally different month. But Valentine's Day, my dad was supposedly born on the February the 14th, but he was older than my mom. My dad died about a year ago or two, and I am the youngest of the three of us. I don't have any brothers or sisters. I don't have any children. I've never been pregnant, and I've never been married. And so, yes, I was sincere the first time when I said I love you in a way that I felt like that's what I wanted. But the person that was asking me for marriage, the only person that ever asked me if I wanted to marry, no, he hasn't came back since he asked me if I wanted to. When I told him that I loved him all those times, I did it because I wanted to and because I felt comfortable and happy with him. But then when we separated and he didn't want to come and see me after that, no, I started to feel very uncomfortable, very different, like totally different than usual. And I realized that he wasn't everything for me as a couple. But then I saw the wedding that I saw of other people, and I thought that I could possibly go back to him, but I realized that it was him that didn't want to come back to me. He didn't tell me that, but I know. I know because I just know that he didn't want to. Because normally when we're dating or in a relationship, they come and tell us if we want to, or they write a letter to me, like in a little piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a perfect piece of paper, as long as it's paper and something to write with. It could be a crayon, it could be a color pencil, a marker, anything that can write and that you can write letters to. So I started to pass my phone number, my name to some friends at school, and it all started with a conversation on the phone at home. At that time, we didn't have cell phones, but my dad had a Viper. We didn't know what a Viper was, but we started to use the phone a lot, and we realized that that's why some people didn't like old devices, not because of the year only, but because of the size. And now I always have to carry with my cell phone, but I always used to have. No, my dad's Viper was actually a lot smaller than my cellular phone, like more than half the size. And it was around about the size of a yo-yo toy. Those yo-yo toys that have like a little ribbon or a little cord around it, a cotton cord, like one of those ropes, but very miniature size, very little. And you just throw it and you catch it again. You throw it and you catch it again. It's a yo-yo, but it wraps it wraps out of the rope on its own and it wraps back up on its own. But you gotta have like grip of the cord of the string, and when you throw it down, it rolls back up with the string to your hand. It's a yo-yo. Okay, well my dad had a Viper, my dad. And of so much hours and minutes that I spent saying I love you to a friend on the phone, I actually ended up sharing my phone number with people I didn't even know at school. It started off with I love you, then holding hands and kissing on the cheek and hugging, and then it went from that to I forgot. I just remember that I would always say I love you to the person, but because I wanted to, not because they would tell him or tell her that you love her or that you love him. So I don't know. All of a sudden I realized that I was interested in the person, but that I hadn't found what I wanted in the person. So I started to look into prices for buying a property, for a graveyard, cemetery, or building a house, mortgage payments, or for like when you die. And I started to think what it would be like if I was married in real life and if I could start a family with someone. And that's where I ended up after some years that we had separated, but because I started to get bored at home. I had a cellular phone, I had a computer, a Windows HP computer, I had a Sprint LG cellular phone, I had a Motorola, I had a Samsung, I think even a Sanyon phone. I don't even remember, but I've had so many cell phones. I would say like more than 15 cellular phones, close to 50 or more cell phones. Because I cannot run or walk a lot. And so I don't have a lot of body movement. But yes, I remember that the first time I ever tried to start a family with someone, I didn't know that that was the way to start a family. So I started to remember my first time saying I love you, because we only exchange gifts like with our couples during February. If not, we have to move in with the person. Yeah, if not, we have to move in with the person or start a family with the person. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was over here. Yeah, I was over here in Alamo, and I remembered my first conversation on the phone saying I love you. And it was somebody from over there in Far. We lived over there in Far. And right now we live over here in Alamo. It's just like 10-15 minutes away, but 10-15-20 minutes away. I have family my dad's entire family lives over here like 10-15 minutes away, driving in car here in the same city that I'm in, but I don't talk to them. At least like 4 to 5 people that my dad knows from the family. And then I have family over there in Far. My mom has like in the city of San Juan and Far, she has like 4 or 5 adults that live there. I think they already have grandchildren, all of them. Yeah, so I have a family, yeah, but I don't have any children. I've never been pregnant, and I don't have any brothers or sisters. But I was talking about that because we were talking about the prices for in case of a funeral, in case of a wedding, or in case of me moving into a different family, because I was living with my ex boyfriend, and we were living at his mom and dad's house. Yeah, that's the only person I've ever lived with that is not from the family that I have lived with. And I was with him for about a year and a half almost, but that was the first time that I ever was with someone for a long time that isn't from the family. But I moved back into my mom's house and I told them that I'm sorry, but that like I couldn't stay with him as a couple. But I didn't know how to explain to him because that wasn't what I had in mind. And when I saw all the problems that I had, all the choices that I made and everything, I started to regret it. But because I knew I was going to have to go back to his house since before I even made it official that I wasn't going to go back. But because I have a physical condition and I cannot walk a far distance and I cannot pay a car or a taxi, and so I don't have a ride over there. And my mom she goes about 10-15 minutes away from his house driving to eat every month. But if she misses out 1 month, she'll end up going the following or the next month to eat there. She eats breakfast tacos and lunch there sometimes, but she'll go with like a friend, or she'll go with me, my mom. Or she'll go by herself with a friend, or her friend will go and see her there at the restaurant. But yeah, yeah, I was being sincere to you when I said I love you, because I thought about you for Valentine's Day, and I thought of what it would be like as a couple, as a wife, as a mom of your kids, and as a friend. Usually, you don't always have to date the person to give them something for Valentine's Day, but you can give a gift to a friend when you celebrate your birthday. Like instead of giving them a gift like for Valentine's Day, you could give them how do you call it? You could give them a candy bag or like a cupcake or something. But I was being sincere when I told the person that like I actually did think about starting a family with the person and all that. No, he hasn't came to see me. He hasn't came to look for me, and he hasn't tried to be there since a long time ago. Since 2007. We're already in 2024, I think 24. And my celebration is on the 9th of December.